Hey everybody, so today we're going to look at the difference between the present simple and the present continuous and how we use these to talk about our activities. Okay, to start with, let's look at the present simple. When we use the present simple, we use the subject, that is who or what we are talking about, and the verb, and that is the action. So when do we use this? We can use it to talk about our regular habits, the things which we do every day or every week, or repeated actions. So you could say, I drink tea in the morning. This means you do it every day. We could also use this to talk about our regular timetables. And when I say regular timetables, I mean the fixed times at which events start or end, or whatever the time is, the scheduled events. So you would say the train leaves at 5 p.m. You could say that school starts at 8 a.m. It means that this will always be true. It will always be happening at this time. You can also use it to talk about our permanent states. And permanent states could be where do you live, what do you like, what do you love, and so on. So these are long-term events. Now, we are going to practice this a bit more. And I want you to look at Alex. So as you can see, Alex is at work, and we are going to ask a question and answer it using that present simple tense. What does Alex do every Monday? Alex, the subject, because Alex is the person we are talking about, works, the verb, on Mondays. At what time does work start? Work in the sentence, in this question, is actually the main subject that we are discussing. Therefore, we would put work as the subject. Starts at 8 a.m. Where does Alex live? Alex, the subject, lives in London. Okay, we're going to practice this a bit more. And in the next example, I want you to look at the questions and you're going to answer using I. What do you do every Monday? Now, I asked, what do you do every Monday? Therefore, you would say I, as the subject, work on Mondays. I work. Do not say I works. At what time do you start work? And this is our fixed timetable. I start work at 8 a.m. What do you love? I, the subject, love chocolates. So you could say, I love chocolates. It's your state that we're talking about there. Okay, so we're going to go through a few examples and you're going to practice using the present simple. So I've got 3 sentences on there, 3 examples. Let's look at number 1. I eat or eats breakfast every day. Okay, and as you can see, I is the subject. And because the subject is I, you would say, I eat breakfast every day. Now, in the second example, I go to work by bus. The bus leaves at 10 a.m. The bus leaves at 10 a.m. Because the bus is something else that you're talking about, it's not I. Okay, Max. Max lives in Spain. Yes, Max is somebody else that we are talking about. Okay, we're going to go on now and practice some of our present continuous. So when we did the present simple, we spoke about activities which we always do, our repeated actions. So what is the present continuous? Well, we use the present continuous to talk about something which is happening right now. For example, what are you doing now? I am watching YouTube. What are you doing now? I am eating. And the form that we use is quite different for the present continuous. When you use the present simple, you used a subject plus the verb. When using the present continuous, you would use subject plus is, are, or am, and the verb. So we can also use the present continuous to talk about annoying habits. So think about something which somebody else does, which makes you feel a bit angry. It could make you feel a bit irritated. That is an annoying habit. So you could say, she is always taking my things. She is always irritating me, whatever it is. Furthermore, we can use the continuous tense, the present continuous tense, to talk about our arrangements. So I am staying with my friend until I find my own house. Now, in that sentence, and I use the word until there, it also means it's a temporary arrangement. So what that means is it's not going to go on forever. Therefore, you would use the present continuous. Now, I said that you would use the subject plus is, are, or am, and the verb. So remember, when you say I, you would use am. They are, we are. You could use any people, cats, as long as it's many of something, you would say are. You could also say you are. And furthermore, you could say he is, she is, it is, Alex is, whoever it is that you're talking about as one person. Okay, we're going to practice a few examples now. I want you to look at Alice and Jack. As you can see, Alice and Jack are walking right now. As we are looking at them, what are they doing? Alice and Jack are walking. Because Alice and Jack are two subjects in that sentence, you would say are, and walk is the verb, and you would add ing onto that. So Alice and Jack are walking. Okay, so now let's look at this as a temporary arrangement. So Alice and Jack are taking the bus to school until their mum gets a car. Now, we can see this is a temporary arrangement because we have until. It means that Alice and Jack will do this for a short while, and then this situation will change until their mum gets a car. Now, we're going to also talk about some annoying habit. And we can say that Alice, the subject, she's one subject, therefore we say is, always fighting. That is the annoying habit. So it's the verb is fight with ing on it with Jack. So we can also talk about something that is going to happen soon. And Jack, the subject, is getting. Get is the verb plus ing, a bike tomorrow. Jack is getting a bike tomorrow. This is an arrangement. Okay, we're going to move on and look at another example, and let's practice this a bit more. So what do you do at 3 o'clock? I want to know about your activity at 3 o'clock. So when I ask, what do you do at 3 o'clock? It means, okay, what are you doing every day at 3 o'clock? Therefore, you would use a present simple, as we had initially practiced. I eat lunch at 3 o'clock. What are you doing? Now, I mean, what are you doing now? So I mean, at this very moment, what are you doing? And when I say doing, I already know that it's a continuous tense. Therefore, I would say, I, the subject, am eating. And eating is the verb there, which is happening right now. Okay, we're going to practice this a bit more. And now let's look at Sam and Sarah. Sam and Sarah are two people in this picture, and we are talking about their state. Sam and Sarah, the subjects, love each other. So because we are talking about their state, we are using the present simple in that sentence. Now we're talking about their arrangement. Sam and Sarah, the subjects, are getting married in April. This is an arrangement. Therefore, you would use a present continuous tense. Let's practice this a bit more. Look at Alice. Alice visits or visiting her grandparents every weekend. If you look at that sentence, we have every weekend in there. So what does that tell us? It tells us it's a present simple. Because this is a repeated action, it happens every weekend. Now let's look at Grandpa Grandpa likes or liking fishing. So we know that when we speak about like, when you like something, it is a state and it's a permanent state. Therefore, Grandpa likes fishing. It's something which will always be true for a long time for Grandpa, not just for now. Now, let's have a look at the next example. I am meeting John tomorrow. So this is happening tomorrow, which means it's an arrangement. Therefore, I am meeting John tomorrow. Now, let's practice this a little bit more. And you can see another example here, and we have Lisa. So now we're doing this a bit differently. We're going to practice our is, are, am, as well as the correct form of the verb. So Lisa, and we know that Lisa is one person. Therefore, Lisa is reading. This is the action Lisa is doing right now. We can see it happening right now, and it will come to an end. Now, let's have a look at the next example. This is John. So, John playing golf on Saturdays. On Saturdays tells us that this is something John does every Saturday. So, we know we can take out playing because it's not a continuous tense. We know that it is a simple tense. It's a repeated action. Now, John is one person. Therefore, we would say John plays golf on Saturdays. In the next example, you could see two people and their dog. And you would say they, because there are two different people there, they are running. The action is happening right now. We can see it happening right now. The dog is happy because that is the dog's state. It's how he is feeling. So remember, when we speak about states, we are going to use a simple tense. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Remember to hit subscribe, and I'll be sure to come up with more great grammar videos.